was lucky here not to scratch, but everything's out on the open.
Position on the 2 is the issue coming off the 1 ball, but this shouldn't be any kind of problem for him at all.
That's perfect. Just got the right side.
And enough angle to set himself up nicely for the 4 as well.
Now there's some recent history between these two. They met in the Philippine Open a couple of months back, and Lee Van won 9-8. Jeff De Luna missing a thin shortcut on the 9 ball in the decision rack in that match. I saw that with my own eyes, and that eliminated Jeff from that tournament. So Lee Van, perhaps a little bit of psychological edge.
You say history between them. Any bad blood?
None that I doubt it, seriously. No. These guys are both very personable, very friendly, happy-go-lucky guys. But Lee Van shaking his head here and didn't quite get the roll he wanted from 5 to 6.
Yes, he's made this a little bit harder than it needed to be.
Good control.
Very nicely done. Just had to make sure that he didn't jam himself up around that 9 ball. He's cleared that very nicely. Q will have to do a bit of work, and he goes for the drag shot. The draw rather than the drag.
Well, they wants that cue ball to slam on the brakes. Oh, that's an overrun. That's an error. He can still cut it, but he's given himself more hard work.
Yes, still not quite the A game from these two fellas. Safely done. But he made that harder, of course.
Lee Van Corteza to break, leading by 2 racks to 1.
So, Lee Van Corteza will stay with this delightful break of his. I mean, it's wonderful contrast in styles, these two, but the wing ball just drops down effortlessly. But that cue ball, once again, flirts a little bit closer to comfort than he would like with that side pocket.
He has a shot on the 1, but look at the red 3. The red 3 goes over the corner pocket, and it will frustrate him here on this shot, you would think.
That's the cue ball I'm interested in there. That's twice, Bob. He's got away with one. It's not going to take much more for a scratch.
Yep. Can he make this 1 into the 3? Pass the 3 into the pocket?
Well, the way he's lining it up,
oh, lots
he
of
can.
room. And this is where winners break can get really ugly, especially if you're Jeff De Luna in his chair. Another simple rack has opened up, and if you look at there, the 6-9 is kind of lined up as a combination.
Well, the question is whether Lee Van will want to take that combination on, or whether he'll just go the distance on this rack.
Yeah.
Because he certainly has other alternatives on that 6.
Yeah, it's really his choice. Lee Van's going to put, appears like he's either going to put deep screw on this ball to keep that cue parallel to that long rail on the left, or he's going to go back and forth. He's going to go back and forth instead. And he doesn't mind that kiss.
Fair to say that Lee Van is the more experienced of these two, isn't it? I guess. I mean, Jeff really burst into our consciousness last year with that as a qualifier in the World Championship, and absolutely stormed his way through the group stages. But Lee Van's been running with the big dogs for a good 4 or 5 years now.
Yes, he's been he's won quite a few tournaments, and that's a
combination as well. Well, you said it, Bob. It was his choice. looked at the 6-9 and said, you know what, I think I might just short circuit this rack. Let's get it over with nice and early. He stays on, and that soft break of his, it's effective.
That's probably one of the reasons why Lee Van likes that soft break, because not only do you get either the wing ball or the one down, but very often you will set up a combination there with the 9. We saw that in 2001 when Mika Immonen won the World Championship in
leading by 3
Cardiff.
racks to 1.
Perhaps that's one of the reasons why he favors this soft break.
Well, I remember 2 years ago in Gauchon, we saw Earl Strickland for a while. Having an absolutely terrific soft break for a while. Just controlled the table patches, and there it is again. It's the wing ball going down, but has he got a shot on the one this time? Because that pink is certainly making its presence felt. I think he can just about see past it, but whether anything's possible off this, I don't know. Watch that pink. A little nudge there from the. He's got a good look at it. Whether he's going to be able to pot it remains to be seen. There's the pink ball. I don't think that's going to come into play.
It'll take a brave man to take on this cut. I think safety might be the choice, but he's got the best look. Oh, he is a brave man. What a shot! Just when Jeff DeLuna thought I might have a shot at the table, Corteza comes up with a fabulous cut of the ball.
Well, I think he's in business here. Just got to sure he can clear to the 4 off this 3. Shouldn't present any great difficulty, and doesn't. Would like a little bit of angle.
Yeah, I think he can just scoot back now, take the 4 into the top right pocket, and then the 5 into the lower left corner pocket. Now you're going to see a nice shot here. He has to make the cue ball move a bit for shape on the brown 7.
You can see him drawing it back up to where he wanted it to be.
Perhaps overrun just a hair, but it won't be too bothered.
Just what I was thinking, Bob. It's not exactly where he wants it to be. It's just, again, just like in the last rack, he's making it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. But as you say, he's avoided the big mistake, and he's getting some good target practice in here, isn't he? He's really starting to get his eye in. And Jeff DeLuna, since he made his error of judgment, has not been back at the table. And this looks like 4 in a row for Corteza. I'm sure Jeff is still playing in his mind that 2, where he brought the cue ball right back on top of the 8 ball, leaving no shot at the 3. That shot has transformed the course of this match.
Thank you, rack 6. Lee Van Corteza to break, leading by 4 racks to 1.
And the good thing with the format is, if you can get back on, you can run some racks pretty quickly to get yourself into it. 4-1 deficit, even a 5-1 deficit. All you need is one break to go your way, and you could be back in business. But first, this man's break's got to let him down, and it doesn't do there. But there's the scratch. That's been coming. That has been coming for this whole match. He got away with it twice.
That's an unforced error.
Nothing's pushed it there, but he bounced off the jaws twice in 3 previous racks. And if you flirt with that long enough, that's going to happen. And that was an adjustment that Levan needed to make, and pays the price for failure to do so. Ball in hand, and that's the break Jeff DeLuna was looking for.
And now he has to reply here with a run of his own to make Ban pay for his error, just the way Ban made Jeff pay for his.
Is that 8-9 going to bother him here? A little combination there.
Yeah, seems to be not a dead-on combination. I reckon he most likely will take the 8 into the lower left corner pocket. That's a nice shot there by Jeff, twisting the cue ball to the right with the side spin. Not a difficult out at all by any means. The toughest part of this rack is from 6 to 8. He wants to have the perfect angle onto the 8 so he doesn't disturb the 9. Needs a big draw shot here though. Settle for that.
Well, that, as you say, Bob, is not going to be much of a problem if he gets position right. And I don't think he'll mind that one too much.
That's perfect, because now the way he's hit this, he can take the 8 without hitting the 9. Couldn't have put it in a better spot.
Back in business. And Corteza with only himself to blame. That scratch was coming. And unfortunately for Levan, he left a wide open table. News here.
Rack 7, Jeff DeLuna to break, trailing by 4 racks to 2.
The news here is that Levan Corteza is leading this all-Filipino battle 4-2, but a big mistake on his break last time up. He scratched, so that means we get to see the explosive Jeff DeLuna once again. And we've seen what happens to the balls on the table. He just tears the rack in half. He really does, just rips it to pieces. But I think this man may be the only player in world-class pool who actually leaves the floor on his break. It really is the most extraordinary sight. How much kinetic energy goes into this break.
Oh, he doesn't want that one to keep on rolling.
There's just so many balls going in so many angles. There he is.
Hi.
We have liftoff. Do you know of another player that does this? That actually leaves the floor?
Wow, that's a good question. Maybe Django used to do it every now and then, but yeah, you don't see very many. And big shot here for DeLuna's. Got to get this thin cut down.
There goes the thin cut.
Doesn't really mind that kiss too much. Might need to wheel this cue ball on the other side of the 3 and the 4.
Again, that's another kiss that well, might out too much. Well, having said that, he has now put the 4 on the rail, so he's got to play a really nice positional shot off this 3.
He can top this through. He can also hit it with draw. It's really his preference. The big shot here, you would think now, is from 5 to 6. This is the hardest shot in the rack.
Yeah, this is the one he's eyeing up, isn't it?
Requires the most skill. Low left English, about 8 o'clock on the clock face. That's what he wants on this shot.
Bought himself some angle as well.
Okay, I'll make a confession. I thought this was the 7 ball. It's the 5. Still a good shot.
Well, he's in business. I knew what he meant, Rob. And Jeff certainly knew what he meant.
Boy, do we have a game coming up here. Jeff's about to pull to within 1.
Yeah, it goes back to what we said right at the start of this match. A little error when you're in the round of 64 and there are no second chances. The small errors can kill you now. Never mind the big mistakes. And Levan Corteza really did make a big mistake on that break, because it's not as if that came out of nowhere. Time you let a world-class opponent back to the table, with winners staying on. 5-2 adrift of Li Kunfang of Chinese Taipei. Raj into the knockout stages once again. Great ambassador he's been for British 9-ball. Well, that's on the outside tables.
Rack 8. Jeff DeLuna to break, trailing by 4 racks to 3.
Here on table 1, as you just heard, Michaela Tab, our match referee, give you the score. DeLuna trails 3-4, having trailed 1-4 in this race to 10. By the way, I saw in the official program that Michaela Tab was described as the English brunette, which will come as news to the good people of Dunfermline in Scotland. She's as English as you are, Bob.
Dunfermline.
Yep.
And a football team there.
They do indeed have a football team. And they play in black and white stripes. They look like referees.
Oh, they cut that one.
Well then. Well, what's he going to get out of this?
Nothing. 9 numbered balls on the table.
Would you believe that? There are so many balls flying in so many different directions. By the law of averages, something's got to take a bounce off a rail, surely. But no. Well, there he is, gets the elevation, but he's having a good look and going, whoa, what have I got out of this? Dry. Jeff all over the table. In fact,
Yeah.
nearly did a pro wrestling belly splash onto it.
Well, the reason I think why nothing went down here is he didn't hit this break right. He cut it. He wants the cue ball to smack that 1 ball full, and he didn't do that. So he's ceded the table to Levan, and now Levan has a chance to really lay a nasty safe on him right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidey holes on this table. We haven't seen an awful lot of safety play in this match. I think the very first shot after the first break was a terrific safety from Corteza. But since then, they've been going for their shots, these two.
Yeah. defense such an important part of 9 ball. Cue ball will go to the right, the 1 will go to the left, and Jeff DeLuna has a lot of work to do.
Well, is it there's the 1 rail escape, obviously.
Yeah, that's what he's looking at, and if he... That's a tough jump.
I was going to say, if he's jumping that...
If he jumps that, he has to miss the 8. That's a tough tall order.
That's a huge jump.
That's transatlantic.
It's Carl Lewis. It's Carl Lewis in the Olympics, long jumping. This one.
Yeah, I was about to say Sergei Bubka, and then I realized he's a pole vaulter.
You'd need a pole to get over some of those. I'd be amazed if he goes for the jump when the 1 rail escape is there, but
that's the short cue.
He likes it, and he went straight to it, Bob.
Yeah, I think he's just jumping over the 9 and the 3 and hoping to just get a piece of the 1. If he gets a piece of the 1, he might even sink the ball with the help of the 3. This is going to be a real highlight reel stuff if this goes down. Looks like he's using a graphite shaft there for his jump stick. Never seen a maple tree with that kind of color on its wood. Yep.
Well, he went straight to it, didn't he? Now he's very close to the pink 4 off the back of this, but I think he's okay for his next shot. This was a beauty.
Yeah, it was a kiss. 1 kisses off the 3, and the 3 going down is a bonus. Spectacular shot, and not the hardest run out either.
The point being on that last jump, of course, he didn't need to try and clear the 8. Because as you say, Bob, he got enough of an edge to put that 1 down. So he saw it straight away, liked it, and he should like the rest of this rack.
Jeff really just has to dribble in this 4 at dead weight, and he can take the 5 into the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Ivan must be thinking, how good do I have to play safety in this match to beat him?
Yeah, I don't think that one goes down as an error. That was just a terrific get out from Jeff DeLuna.
I like Jeff just to ball forward, take the 7 either into the side or the corner. But he likes to take it into the opposite corner pocket off the draw. Now 3 balls away from tying things up here. Remember, we're playing a race to 10 today instead of a race to 9.
This one down to that terrific jump shot. It looked like DeLuna had the handcuffs on, but he saw the shot that could turn that particular rack round in his favour, and he took it.
Thank you. Rack 9, Jeff DeLuna to break 4 racks each.
Doesn't seem that long ago, Bob, we were saying, oh, 4-1, it only needs 1 chance and you could be back at 4-all, and here we are. it's probably no exaggeration to say that if there's another mistake from one of these players, it could virtually cost them the match, because you could easily see one of these guys staying here for 5 or 6 racks.
That's right. Either of these players have the ability to put together 3, 4, 5 packs.
There's the wing ball gone. Another one has been bludgeoned, and there's balls hanging over the pocket there as well. But of course, the one ball he can't see at all. Well, in fact, no, he can. He's got a clear look at it. Sorry, I take that all back. He's got an absolutely perfect look at the one, and I think he's got enough room to have some fun in that top left-hand pocket as we see the cue ball bouncing around the table. There's a lot of traffic top left, as you can see.
Yeah, the one may still go in on its own off that 7. I think that's what he's looking at. The 3-ball combination 1, 2, 7 is another choice, but it looks to be a tough shot. Now from this angle, the one certainly doesn't go in. Wow. This is the pivotal shot in the rack right here. Did go down, and now the rack is totally opened up.
Can he just see enough of this?
Yeah, I think he can. If he cannot take it directly, he can always play the old rail first shot with left-handed spin and spin it in. Looks like it goes naturally though.
Well, he only needs the slightest little edge of it. He's asked for the bridge, so he'll be at full stretch for it, which adds a degree of difficulty that he wouldn't ideally like, but I think there's just enough of that, as you say, Bob, just enough poking out for him to dispatch this. And he's asked that cue ball to do a lot of work, and they'll be happy enough with that result.
Wow, he may need the rest again here though. Has to bridge awkwardly over the 8.
He's not the tallest, is he?
Not quite.
Jeff DeLuna. He's not Marcus Shamat, but he's not exactly one of the giants of the game, is either. He's at full stretch here.
That's a good shot. Wants to be straight on the 3. Oh, he wanted to be straighter than that. About 6 more inches down, and he could just play a stock ball. Now he needs some work to do with the cue. I don't think he can hold the cue ball there. There's too much angle. Now he could. He cheated the pocket, played it as straight as possible. Giving himself an angle off the 4.
Nicely done.
Turned off.
Oh dear, somebody is on the phone, and our referee heard it. And if it wasn't turned off before, you can be certain it is now.
If you don't turn it off, she will certainly show you the exit.
Yeah, you'll be turned off permanently.
Well, Jeff's straight here, so he's got to come up with a big draw shot.
He's a bit in no man's land here, or
mildly in the 50-yard line zone. All he needs is a clean draw shot. Take that cue ball into the right side cushion, and he'll be all right.
And he's absolutely fine on one simple 9 for his first lead of the match. Oh no, he took the very first rank, didn't he, of course? But this lead a lot more meaningful. It's when you're 4-1 down.
Rack 10, Jeff DeLuna to break, leading by 5 racks to 4.
And it's not going to take much to bring Lee Van Corteza back to the table. One thing you don't want to do is make the mistake. If you get a bit of bad luck, you can't control that. And there is luck in this game, good and bad. But you can control the errors. Certainly another one at this stage of the match could prove decisive.
Oh, and there's always the danger with the hard break. Nick, that's not ideal position for the cue ball off the break.
You're not kidding.
Wow.
Well, he generates so much heat. But there goes the cue ball.
It was in
Off
the
the
air.
table and off our TV picture there.
Yeah, it was in the air and got bounced by the 6 right there.
Yeah. There you go. He switched sides for that break. Or had he switched?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He did. He moved over to the left side.
Yeah.
Now,
Why would he do that?
I guess, well, he didn't get a good result the last time, I think. He scratched 2 times ago. He scratched dry. Now, the big thing that helps Jeff in this rack is the 3 and the 4. They're cozied up. It makes the run out a little bit harder, although the 3 may be available into the lower left hand. No, it's available into the lower right hand.
Yeah, the way Lee Van played that, it was clearly available. And if this does pass, and as we can see, it should. And this is Van Corteza back in business, and we just talked, didn't we? One mistake could prove costly. Is Jeff DeLuna taking the cue ball off the table at the moment that he ends up losing this match? There's a long way to go, but at a race to 10, and you're asking somebody just to put 5 racks on the board, which is what Corteza will be looking at if he cleans up here. It really is at 5-all huge advantage to the guy that's breaking.
Yes, that's right. Especially with the standard of play that these players are capable of.
So lessons to be learned from both of them off their breaks. They're so contrasting. All control and elegance from Van Corteza, all power and energy from DeLuna, but both of them have had their problems. DeLuna's been dry and off the table. And Corteza scratched last time up and had flirted with a couple of scratches earlier, so that's going to be interesting. What does Lee Van Corteza do?
Rack 11, Lee Van Corteza to break 5 racks each.
Well, here's the impossible question, Bob. Who's going to win? I guess Lee Van Corteza has to be the favourite now, simply because he's the man in control of the table.
I'll make my prediction after this break.
Yes, let's see.
Oh,
Well,
nothing.
And where's that
Hello?
cue ball going?
Wow.
He's done it again.
Well shot. Ball in hand.
this time it's not his fault.
Oh, it was heading there, Bob. Well, if you look at a replay, I know it got a push, but it was heading there. See, look. I mean, it's virtually the same shot as the previous scratch.
Yeah.
I know it got a nudge, but look where it's heading on its own, and that's the little push. The 8 just helped it on its way. So he didn't learn the lesson of the previous scratch.
That's right. And a big break there. A big stroke of fortune now for DeLuna.
Would that ball have gone had the 8 not touched it? I think it was on its way, you know.
It was close. It was kind of on its last legs, and then the 8 said, "Get on your way, son. You're going down."
He's got a little meld there to deal with, but I don't think that's going to bother him too much here, Jeff DeLuna.
I think 6 goes down lower left.
Yeah.
Biggest shot here, I think, is from 3 to 4. That's the only semi-difficult shot he has to be faced with. Wow, I don't think think he'll be too thrilled with the angle he has on the 3 here. He may have to draw this ball all the way back if he cannot bang it off that side cushion. What a nice play. What a shot by Jeff DeLuna. Amazing play. Willing that cue ball in between 6 and 7. But I tell you what, he doesn't have a lot of angle here.
No, there's still work to be done, isn't there? This is not over.
He needs to get between the 8 and the 5.
Back in business.
2 very fine shots there, requiring a lot of skill by Jeff DeLuna. What he'd give for just a little less angle on the shot. He's really going to kill this shot now. Must hold that cue ball. I bet he makes this 5 scrape off the side cushion into this pocket. Just like that.
Tap on the table with the chalk.
Yeah,
That tells you he's happy.
well, perhaps a bit less angle, a bit more angle rather, would have been more to his liking.
I think he'll take this.
He's going around 2 rails.
Yeah, I don't think he's too bothered.
That's the last bit of drama left in this rack.
Nicely negotiated thus far. And is it my imagination, or has he slowed his game down? Oh dear. Well, I'm afraid Lee Van Corteza only has himself to blame for his predicament here. He's flirted with the scratch twice before actually scratching twice, and even if he did get a little bit of an unfortunate kiss off the 8, that ball was heading straight to the pocket again. So it has to go down as a self-inflicted wound, and it's a wound that's going to hurt because it's Jeff DeLuna back in front.
In rack 14, Jeff DeLuna to break, leading by 8 racks to 5.
Well, enough about football. Let's have a look at a bit of 9-ball and this all Filipino battle.
Well, Nick, a scratch on the break by Lee Van Corteza in rack number 6, and Jeff turned it into 4 racks. A scratch on the break in rack number 11 by Lee Van, and Jeff has turned it into 3 racks. So, well, you know, the old American football analogy of points off turnovers right there.
This is the point. If Lee Van Corteza ends up losing this match, he has no one to blame but himself. That break of his just wasn't working. He was getting away with it earlier, but never made the adjustment. And DeLuna, having scratched off that left side, as we look, obviously decided enough with that. Oh, well, he might. Where's he going to go now?
The 8 balls down as well.
He's put 4 balls down and the cue ball.
Was this kicked in? Yes,
It was. It took a nudge. The blue pushed it in. And with ball in hand, the only really difficult shot there, at first glance, looks to be the 2, but with ball in hand, Lee Van Corteza can take care of business right here. So what about that? Jeff DeLuna just when it looked like he was in business. Could be out of business again. Louis Kondo has had a very easy one against Chan, 10-2. Was out on table number 6, so the Aussie is through. We still don't know who's going to be joining him out of these two. It's the story of this match. Scratches.
Yeah. Scratches
2 each now.
break.
There is always that element of risk with the De Luna scratches, you say, Bob, because there's so much power. Balls can just fly around the table. There's always a chance of a knock-in, as we just saw. But we just...
Rack 15, lead by Corteza to break, trailing by 8 racks to 6.
Well, without wishing to labour the point, his last 4 breaks have all seen the cue ball flirting with that right-hand side pocket as we look at the table. And the last 2 times, the ball's ended up there. And this time he does make the adjustment. He loses the cue ball to the wrong end of the table this time, but at least he's kept it on the table. So I guess that's progress.
Yep. Cue ball heading for that other side of the table, gets batted away. Now the question is, can he see enough of this one?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
totally different shot on the cue ball this time.
Yeah. He's gone for a stiffer break now. Now, can he see enough of this one? It's close. If he can handle it, then the rack opens up.
Got to negotiate some traffic to get to the 2. Oh! Wow. Wow. Does that go down as an unforced error? Not an easy shot, but when you're trailing 8-6 in a World Championship match, that's a ball you got to have.
Yeah, and he missed it thick, which means he had lots of room. The 8 was not bothering him there. Unforced error 2 there by Livan Corteza. 3 if you count that second scratch off the break.
And I think we do.
This is a huge opportunity here for Jeff. Nice cut. Don't hide behind anything.
He's got to do some work, get a lucky break. Does it slam the brakes on?
Just barely did.
Yep. That 3 was starting to loom, wasn't it? But the cue ball... Yeah, he's okay. Quite out of the woods yet, is he? Because A, this is not an easy shot, and B, he's got to get positioned back for the 3.
Yeah, he needs to hit this with some speed to take that cue ball somewhat near the center of the table.
Well, there's the pot.
It's a good shot.
About as good as he could do under the circumstances, you would think.
Traffic management coming up here.
Yeah, he's still not home free. He needs to deposit the red, obviously, and then make sure that he's got something on the pink 4 ball. And as Bob so rightly points out, there's 1 or 2 little obstacles to make sure don't get in your path. And has he cleared them? That looks good. That looks very good. Got some angle.
Yeah, I think he's going to take this, kind of spank this ball off that short rail and up the long rail back for the 6. Livan Corteza knows that he is in a hole right now. The other way instead. That's well done. Jeffrey DeLuna made it to the last 16 last year. That's how he got invited back.
And he lost to the man we just seen beat Earl Strickland a few moments ago,
Yep.
if memory serves.
That's correct. Wants to prove that he's no fluke. Now, a stun draw, a stun shot to put that cue ball to the right. That's all he needs. Stun draw there and 2 balls away from the hill. Only 2 unforced errors by Jeffrey DeLuna. The missed 3 ball in rack number 2, and then the ball off the break in rack number 10. Other than that, he has played very solid 9 ball. Cue balls wandered a bit near the rail.
And I'm not sure, Bob, you've seen an awful lot more of him than I have, but are we seeing a slightly slower Jeff DeLuna in this match? He certainly seems to have just put the brakes on in the last 2 or 3 racks. Really taking extra bit of care with his shots. He's on the hill.
Jeff DeLuna to break, leading by 9 racks to 6.
All about composure now. Finishing the job. He'll go through his same ritual. He will just double check that rack. Neither player has had any complaints about the racking thus far.
4 break and run outs already for Jeff DeLuna. How he'd love to have a 5th. He's gone back to that side of the table, Nick, where he started off.
I think there was only the one break where he lost the cue ball anyway on the other side, and he's decided to go back to this one. But this was the one where he had the scratch last time up as well. So he's had a problem on both sides of the table, but surely it's not going to another kick in. He has balls all over the table. He has 3 down. What's going to be left with? And would you believe it? The one ball he needs to see is completely covered. 2 is inviting. You watch where that 2, bottom of the screen as we're looking, that 2 is begging to be hit, but look what's coming in. Watch that 5. Roll and roll and roll, and that'll do you. That's a roadblock to a place in the round of 32.
Jump shot.
Now comes the short stick again. And if he has as much success with this jump as he had with the earlier one.
You know why he's doing that? He's looking at the jump from a few inches. He's going to push out to an easier jump. Push
attempt Lee Van Corteza into the jump.
Just like that.
Well, what do you do if you're Lee Van Corteza here? What's his jumping like?
All of these players jump well. The problem with this jump is that if you hit the cue ball wrong, or the 2 ball wrong off the jump, you may see the white ball go off the table. It's an agonizing choice.
Well, when your opponent's on the hill, oh, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you go for it and you get it wrong, then your opponent's back in business. But if you turn it down and your opponent gets it, you're out of business. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I think Lee Van Corteza has probably decided, well, at least I might as well try and put my own destiny in my hands.
Yeah, and the other reason why I like the shot, not very difficult to get on the next ball, the pink 4. So 50-50.
This is the one he's got to get right. And he has. terrific shot, and I'm sure Jeff DeLuna is sitting back in his chair cursing that 5-ball that rolled between him and a place in the last 32. That 5, if it just rolled on a little bit more, as it is, that was tough.
And we are now. No, that's a beautiful shot there by Lee to get the nice long pattern. The reason why these players play those patterns is because the harder he had hit that one, he would have landed on the 5.
Game some break. Everything lined up, and then that 5 just rolled and said, "I'm going to rain on your parade, Jeff DeLuna." And now the initiative switches back. And there's certainly no reason why Lee van Corteza 3 racks after this. He's made the adjustment on his break. And he's pulled the pool god.
Win one actually was an alternate. Starting at the last dash.
By 9 racks to 7.
I tend to take the view, Bob, that if somebody's come from Philippines or Chinese Taipei, it doesn't matter how they get here, they can play a little bit. A lot of balls on the table, and that's not good news.
Again, nearly scratching here off the break. Oh. Boy, does he have a tough shot coming up. This is a test of single ball pocketing. Well, it's a dry break, that's why. And Jeff DeLuna now has to take this shot on. This may not cut into the side pocket. It's very close. If not, it's a long 9.5-foot shot to the corner.
Yeah, that's the only good bit of news that came from that break from Lee van Corteza. Nothing went down, but the cue ball got that big kick right back up to the top of the table. Without that, Jeff would have a reasonable shot at a clean run out here. This is a monster shot on the 1. Jammed up against the rail. It passes, but it's a tough. Oh, tough? Are you kidding? He made that look easy.
Fabulous shot on the 1.
That wasn't as easy as he made it look, was it? There was a high degree of difficulty in that shot.
Outrageously difficult shot. Look how he stayed so still on the ball. Great technique. Can he see enough of the 2 to clip the 2 in? If not, the bank is open. If Jeff goes on to win this match, he will point to that glorious 1 as the shot that sealed the deal. He wanted that 8 to get out of the way.
He certainly did. He certainly did. It's not quite over yet for Lee van Corteza. Not quite, but it's getting mighty close now.
Does the 3-ball cut into the side pocket? The bottom of your screen.
This is the shot, isn't it? This really is for Jeff DeLuna. He can find something here. What about a combination?
Wow, that is a tough combination. I can't see him taking it on. Not at a time like this. Not with winner break and so much at stake, but yeah, he's going to try and cut it in. And do well to hold for the 4 here. What a great shot.
Oh, that is beautiful.
That's beautiful, but there's still some work to do.
Yep. He's got a blind cup here.
Yeah.
I call it blind because you're looking away from the pocket. You're trying to put the ball in.
Reverse cut into a blind pocket. This cue ball is going to go up to the top left corner, near the top left corner. From there he'll have a long cut down to the bottom left corner. This shot isn't too difficult. It's the 5 that's going to be a real knee knocker.
Well, this is a circuitous rack, to say the very least. Nothing has come easy for Jeff, and it's still not quite there for him.
It's going to be his path of the one ball, of the cue ball rather, I would think. Then you'll have to take the 5 ball into this pocket. And the 5 ball's welded up against the rail.
Yeah, it's like I say, Lee Van Corteza is not out of this yet, because he's going to have to make a lot of things happen here, and he's decided
He played safe.
to play safe, and he hasn't got it.
What I was describing, perhaps just a little bit too intimidating for him. He tried to take that cue behind the 8 and was just about half an inch too long.
What a difference that half an inch could be, because Van Corteza can now try and apply the handcuffs of his own.
Yeah, Lee Van Corteza is a brilliant banker of the ball. If he's feeling offensive, he can take this 4 ball, try and take it lower right-hand corner. But I doubt it if he'll take that option. And then just like that, he goes for it.
But doesn't get it. When your opponent's on the hill, you've got to get it.
He went for it. Give him an A for effort.
One ball on the rail dealt with, and look at that, he's jammed up underneath that 8. So this shot a lot harder than he would like. Still nothing coming easy for Jeff DeLuna, but at least he's at the table. This fella can do nothing.
That shot deserved a little bit better than this position. Has to cue over the 8. Nothing really to do with the cue ball, just dink it forward. Automatic shape on the 6. This is the match right here for Jeff DeLuna.
Wow. Can he start celebrating yet? I think he's just about there, isn't he? Got enough angle?
That is a great shot. I don't think he's going to celebrate until that 9 is in a pocket.
I think you're right. It's been hard work, this rack, like number 17. But it looks as if the hard work has been done.
We've seen 2 splendid shots here by Jeff. The 1 ball and then that 5 ball. This, in practice, he'd be over this rack very quickly. Just needs to make a slight draw shot, keep the cue ball in the middle of the table.
Been a good match, hasn't it? We thought it would be.
Oh, cracking match.
Tense, absorbing, not too many errors, but just enough little things going on to make you wonder what the next twist and turn was going to be. But really, the story of the match, for me, can be summed up with Lee Van Corteza's failure to break consistently well.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that. Jeff is feeling the pressure. That 7 ball went into the side of the pocket, actually. Didn't go in as cleanly as he would have liked. 2 ways to play this shot. Low right-hand English or top left-hand English. He's going with option A. Let's move another cue ball. Cue ball. Wow, okay. I think he's pretty safe now.
Just one more ball between Jeff DeLuna and a place in the round of 32 at the 2007 Philippine World Pool Championship. Good enough.